are recording and we are live. I'd like to welcome everybody to today's webinar presentation entitled Digital Strategy. Awesome social media marketing doesn't just happen. Do it with purpose and goals to increase your return on investment. I'm super excited to have Beth Powell with me here today. Beth, I'm just going to let you introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is Beth, and I'm based in Boulder, Colorado. And my company, Pop Media Studio, offers a number of services, including content strategy, social media consulting and writing, copywriting for websites and ads, and I also do PR and WordPress website development.
Cool. Thanks a lot. And my name is Chris Rolfe. I'm the owner and founder of Boulder SEO Marketing. We specialize in helping companies actually around the globe help them increase organic search traffic to their websites. And we also work closely with Beth on social media. So that's why we're bringing you this webinar today. Next slide. There we go. What are we going to discuss today? First, we're going to take a look at the big picture overview. Then we'll talk social media strategy. Then I'll be explaining how social media fits into SEO. We'll talk about customer engagement and workflow options. Then we'll take a look at templates, processes, and tools. And then how's that work going to pay off? How are we going to define and measure our success? We'll also discuss some case studies, and then hopefully we'll have maybe 5-10 minutes time for Q&A. All right, so why don't we take a quick poll here, and let me get that poll started. If you could let us know, you should see now on your screen the poll. Give us a little bit of information about yourself so we know who we have with us today. Just going to leave it open maybe for another 15-20 seconds. Beth, what's your guess? Who do we have with us today?
I'm going to guess that most of you are going to fall into the small business category.
All right, so we're going to close the poll in 5 seconds. Last chance, and then I'm going to share the results with you, and I'm going to close the poll right now. And I'll be sharing with you the results. So hopefully you can see the results. So we have 24% solopreneurs, 52% small businesses. That's probably what I expected. 10% medium-sized businesses and 14% large businesses. Okay. And then let's do one more poll before we get really serious here. All right. Tell us a little bit about your social media marketing habits, or how do you handle social media at your company? Are you responsible? Do you outsource? What would you like to do? Again, we'll give it another maybe 15 to 20 seconds. And based on the audience, what do you think, Beth? What do you guess?
Let's see. You know, I think it's going to be a big range, but I'm going to guess that most people are trying to do it all.
All right, great. I'm going to close the poll, and we'll share the results with you guys as well. All right, look at that. Nearly 80% of you are actually responsible for your own social media. Well, you came to the right event.
Yeah, welcome.
Alrighty. Let's get started here. Beth, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Okay. All right. Well, based on how many of you are handling all of the marcom for your company and trying to fit in social media, I can see that strategy is highly valued because, believe it or not, well, you probably can, having a strategy might seem like more work, but it's actually going to make your life easier. A lot of you want to know how much time you need to dedicate to social media and content marketing, and whether it's going to give you a good return on your time and money investment. So we'll talk about those things. Some of you are maybe considering hiring help in-house or outsourcing some of your social media to drive the results that you're trying to get. And some of you probably already have a great strategy in place and just want to get some new tips. So just know that we're going to give you some good guidelines for connecting your efforts to your return on investment. So we'll stay there. Let's go back, yeah. So you probably know, since 80% of you are doing social media, that it's a presence somewhere is necessary these days. Like I said, it's going to make your life easier to have a strategy and get you better results. And I kind of set 3 goals with creating a strategy. You want to strive to deliver real value to your prospects and customers by anticipating their needs and give them really good reasons to do business with you, and then fostering loyalty to your brand. So this might be, some of what I might present is already clear to you, but I wanted to just give some general semantic distinctions here. So I look at a MarCom strategy or a marketing and communication strategy as an umbrella strategy that your company has in place, or ideally has in place. It's got your high-level marketing objectives and tactics and your metrics for success. So then a subset of that is your content marketing strategy, your digital marketing. And then I see social media strategy as a further subset of your content marketing strategy. So in other words, your content marketing is your blogging, your social media, your case studies, your webinars, press releases, and email marketing. And so your social media networks are going to be a great forum for posting links back to this content marketing that's part of that strategy. So hopefully those distinctions make sense. I just wanted to make we don't have time to dive into it deeply here, but a quick word on email marketing. So today you know that your social media assets, like your Facebook followers, your Twitter followers, those really aren't your assets to keep. So if Facebook or Twitter went away tomorrow, like MySpace kind of went away, your assets are just gone. So that's why I highly recommend connecting email marketing to your social media efforts, because you want to capture people's email addresses. Those assets are going to be yours. So today, Chris and I are going to be discussing with you options for creating great content and implementing it with strategy. And we're going to give you, of course, options for how you can do it yourself and or outsource parts of it, and how you can optimize your SEO and your analytics so that you know if you're achieving your goals. All right, so we know that your small, medium, and large-sized businesses, we're going to assume you have a website and a product or service. Hopefully you know your top 3 competitors. This is part of the strategy from my perspective, because you'll want to check out your social media, your competitors' networks. How many fans do they have? How are they engaging their customers? What kind of voice are they using to talk to the people that you're trying to talk to? You can really get a lot of great intelligence from looking at what your competitors are doing. The second thing I would emphasize is really important to know your top 2 or 3 buyer personas. So a word on what these are and how today, you as marketing professionals want to get really good data on these people. So, in traditional marketing, the personas, the profiles we did gave us information about demographics. So you could know their age, their gender, their geography, but you didn't necessarily know how they behave. So today, your strategy really requires that you know how these people live and work. Are they on the road a lot? Are they online? Are they offline? Where do they get their information? This is very important, what are their pain points or their frustrations? And what are their aspirations? What kind of person do they want to be, and how can your product and service help them become that person? And then who influences the decisions that they make? How are their peers, influencing their buying decisions? And this is the data that's going to guide your messaging and the platforms that you choose, and it maps back to your organization's high-level sales and marketing goals.
So let me go to the next here.
All right. So when I work with clients, we kind of start with a situational assessment or a needs assessment. We map out where you are today and where you want to be with your overall content marketing strategy. So, for example, you've got something that's working great, and you know you want to add some new tactics and connect them in some way. So what I recommend is setting strategic goals first and then tactical. So you can see on the screen some examples of strategic goal setting would be creating awareness of your brand by getting out there and promoting your company via social media, lead generation, and then maybe promoting some of your management via LinkedIn and blogging. And then your tactical is going to be the examples you see there. Let's say you want to get 200 new Twitter followers by May, or you want to see 100% increase in your referral traffic from LinkedIn. And then very important too, like I said before, getting email addresses. See how you can connect your social media to email opting in on your website. And then I just want to say a little word about setting expectations in your company about what you do versus the people who actually are closing the sale. I look at our work as generating leads. So your website and what I call the customer journey, so that's like what the customer experiences as they navigate through your site to make a buying decision, that customer journey needs to be awesome. And it's usually or often the responsibility of other people in your organization to have an awesome visual experience on your website, to have great copy that really speaks to them. And so the actual closing of the sale is not your responsibility. You are taking them on the journey through awareness, connection, and piquing their interest in your brand, and then, of course, serious consideration of a buy. I just mentioned this because it can make role definition much clearer in your organization. Okay, so these, I won't go too into depth with all of these, but these are examples of social brand guidelines that when I work with clients, we go through these one by one and define guidelines. If you're a solopreneur, you're going to do this all yourself. If you've got a team, you're going to all be on the same page with all of these guidelines. So, for example, you're going to look at your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your Twitter, your other profiles, and you're going to make sure you've got the same logo, you have the same text, and that you're consistent across all profiles. Very important is to have a human face to your brand. Decide what kind of personality you're going to present to the world. As you know, there's just tons of noise out there, and when you create engaging, entertaining content, people are going to pay attention and share it. Part of that is developing the voice that you want to use. So Chris will emphasize later the importance of keywords and optimizing your content. But one of the ways we work together is we establish with our clients the top keywords that I'm going to maybe use in my writing, in my blogging, and that are going to be part of Chris's general SEO strategy with that client. And that's going to be integral to consistent social media messaging too. And then you're going to want to know how you use imagery and how you're going to connect with your colleagues on developing content. And then if you do customer service with social media, really important to distinguish who owns that and what are the guidelines for responding to criticisms or to other comments that are public. Okay, and before I hand it over to Chris, I'm going to just present that I look at social media strategy like a good press release. It's got to have the who, what, where, when, and how. And of course, you know the why. That's why you're here. So the who is who's going to execute this strategy? Who's going to write the content? Who's going to curate good content that's already out there? Who's going to post it? And who's going to monitor it? You probably want to expect 3 to 10 hours a week to do a solid job at a strategy, a social media strategy. So the what, that's going to be the types of content. You're going to want to curate and create a diverse mix of content. Blogs, really stand out photos. Video is awesome. Visuals are just super key, as you know. Useful links, helpful tips, thoughtful questions. And the where is going to be, of course, where do you focus? Where do you put your efforts? It's important not to just feel like you have to be everywhere at once, especially without a strategy. And so I think, Chris, you would say, and with the clients we work with, the top 3 are typically LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. Blogging, very important too.
Yeah.
But if you're in retail or food or a business that gets the benefit of rich visual opportunity, then definitely you're going to want to consider eventually getting on Pinterest and Instagram. Excuse me. So the when is going to be scheduling. So let's say you set aside 2 hours a week to write some content. You don't want to post it when it's convenient for you. You want to post it when you think your audience is out there listening. So Chris is going to demonstrate Hootsuite. This is the tool we use. You can do a pro version of Hootsuite for $9.99 a month, and it's pretty incredible how much time that's going to save you. And the how, finally. The how, we're going to show you later how we set up editorial calendars, and that's where we, for example, when we work together, I'm going to post the content. Chris shares it with client. We get client sign-off, and then he uses that Google Doc to then post into Hootsuite. So we'll show you that. And the final comment I'll make on the how is we want to up front determine with our clients, and you'll want to do this too, how many posts are you going to commit to doing per week and per platform. We recommend kind of the 80-20 rule, where 20% of your posts and your messaging is going to be focused more on you, and 80% is going to be curated content or sharing other people's content. Yeah, so my personal style is to just really encourage bold stuff, even provocative stuff if your type of company enables or allows that. Sometimes, just getting attention through posing controversial stuff that gets attention and engages people is a way to go, so you can just really pop.
Great. Hey, thanks so much, Beth. And I'll be going through everything you said a little bit more detail.
Awesome.
All right. So how does social media fit into SEO, what we do here at Boulder SEO Marketing? It has become a huge part of increasing organic search traffic, and I see it every day. So let me just quickly walk you through our methodology that we do here. We basically have 5 pillars on how we do organic SEO here. First of all, you need to have a website that's technically healthy. If you do the comparison, let's say you want to hike Mount Everest or climb Mount Everest. You have all the knowledge, you have all the gear, but your heart is not healthy enough to actually do the summit, to hike. There's no way you're going to do it. That's exactly with the website. It needs to be in tip-top shape on the back end. We had a client come to us, and their site was actually hacked about 6 months ago, and they had embedded links back to porn sites and Viagra sites. They were nowhere to be found on Google. We cleaned the site up, and magically the website raised in searches. Yeah. So just make sure your website is technically healthy. If your website sucks from a functional standpoint, you're going to lose visitors. There's no way you're going to convert them to prospects or buyers. Make it as easy as possible for them to find information, to contact you, to engage with you. and actually Google takes that into consideration as well, especially they look at the bounce rate. You know, if somebody gets to your website and they leave right away, not good. It has an impact on SEO. On-page optimization. Everything you can do on your website, starting with, you know, the keywords that you've chosen. You got to implement those in your meta tags. Every page has a title, description, keywords tag, and it's actually a science in itself. And I'll talk about this a little bit. Then, you know, how are you going to place the keywords in your content? Do you have a blog? Do you have white papers, etc., etc.? So anything you can do on your website to optimize for search engines, and it has to be done in a natural, high-quality way. That's the only way you can do it well. Off-page optimization, anything you can do outside of your website, starting with a amazing LinkedIn company page. It works tremendously. If you just give you an example, if you do a search for SEO agency Boulder, you should see my website at the top, and then I think the second from the top, I think it's my LinkedIn company page. So just do a search when you have a chance and see how it's working. I recommend including document sharing websites in your strategies, such as SlideShare, post to applicable directories. Again, anything you can do outside of your website, including you have to have optimized social media company pages. Once you have those company pages, this is where social media marketing comes into place, the messaging, the content marketing. And we've seen a tremendous increase in organic search once we start to do social media marketing for our clients. All right, so this is our methodology. Big part, social media marketing. All right, Beth, I'm going to let you talk about who do we need to deploy a social media marketing strategy.
All right, so many of you are, as you indicated in the poll, doing everything yourself. It's a lot of work, as you know. This is just a presentation slide of if you have a team or if you outsource social media, this is how it could look. So in the first example, I would create the content and curate content for a given client. And then Chris and I worked together for, excuse me, he would act as a client interface, kind of do the SEO analysis, keyword identification, and manage the project on a weekly basis by optimizing blog articles with the aforementioned tags and to schedule and post messages and do the analytics. It's important for us to deliver analytics to our clients because they've got to, you know, have that ROI data. One other version, the second kind of scenario below, is I would do everything except the analytics and the optimization because that's us kind of being really defined on our expertise. So that's just an example of how you could structure it.
Great, thanks. And I guess I want to reiterate, social media marketing, you cannot silotize it. It's an integral part of your digital marketing strategy. And the better you combine all these pieces, the more successful you will be. Yeah. All right, let's move on. So this is actually a screenshot of, I hope the attendee is present today, of one of our attendees, hopefully today, went to the website, and this really spoke to me. So we envision a world where giving is an integral part of life. You know, if you apply this principle to your social media marketing strategy, you will succeed. It cannot only be about you. Give, you know, inform your audience about cool events. Be really a thought leader. Then you will see a tremendous return on investment. So I really want to point this out. That was a great webpage here. All right, let's talk social media plan. Basically, this can be your strategy, or this is what we recommend. Before you do anything, listen. Do your research. Go to the networks. Check out what people say, what language they talk, you know, what words they use. what people like, share, etc., etc. Once you know that, then it's time to think about your strategy. This also includes, as Beth already mentioned earlier, your target audience. If you're catering to moms, let's say 30 to 40, you'll know quickly where they hang out. So, I would definitely recommend probably Pinterest, Instagram. So really, once you know your target audience, you can clearly define what content they're consuming, what they talk about, and then it's time, and we'll show you the content development process in just 1 second. Then it's time to think about, okay, what kind of tools am I going to use to push out the message? What kind of platforms do I include in my strategy? Then the implementation part, how am I going to push out the content? And I'll talk about it in just 1 second. But I definitely recommend tools. It's going to make your life a lot easier. You'll save time. Then very, very important, track and measure. Some of you probably report to somebody else. That person wants to see results. Easy way, it's actually super easy to do, and I'll show you exactly how to do it. Then adjust. So now you know the results. You're probably not going to get it right the first time around. So tweak it and do this whole cycle again. Tweak it again. Things will change. You cannot be stagnant. You got to update this cycle on an ongoing basis. Alright, well, I'll let you read this cartoon here. I want to make a point. There is so much noise out there. We are all competing, as Beth, as we did for this webinar. We are competing with so many other providers of what we do. It's a really highly competitive space. So we got a lot of attendees to this webinar. I think 50% or more than 50% actually indicated that they heard about this event through social media. So, high five, we did a good job. Because I think we put out relevant content and you deemed it appropriate for you to spend time today to listen to us. So don't just put out noise. Make it with, put out noise with content. I guess, purpose. Alright, this study is a little bit older, a couple of years old, but the respondents here indicated, about 60%, that they use social media for lead generation. I think it's a given. Everybody wants to get something out of it, but you also get increased exposure. At the same time, you get increased traffic, and all of this actually leads to lead generation. And then, how much time should one spend on social media marketing? I mean, it can vary greatly. What we see, Beth, what would you say? How much time do you spend for your clients on a weekly basis if they outsource the work to you?
I'd say an average about 3 to 5 hours a week, and then depending on, video and photos and that kind of thing, that could add more time.
Yeah. Okay. So if you do more, social media marketing yourself, I would say expect to reserve at least 3 to 8 hours per week if you want to do a good job. All right, let's talk about processes, templates, and tools. Most important, you need high quality content. There's no way around it. If you do social media marketing, you need content, and it has to be written by an expert. It has to be engaging. It has to add value to your target audience. Then I recommend an editorial calendar. Do it systematically with purpose, and also you need tools which will make your life easier. And I'll walk you through our methodology in just 1 second here. But as Beth already mentioned, don't just talk about yourself. Share worthy content. I came across this book, B2B Social Media, by Kip Bodnar and Jeffrey Cohen. They have a 10-4-1 rule. Basically, out of 15 social media messages, create 10 that are not about you. Events, other cool blog posts, articles, etc. 4 can be about your content on your websites, and one should be specifically leading back to, for example, a webinar registration page like we did with this event. You gave us your email address in exchange for letting you participate in this webinar. It can be a white paper download. Really start to think, how do I get the most out of my social media marketing efforts? And this works really well for many of our clients. Then we use Google Docs here at Boulder SEO Marketing and Pop Media, and I'm just going to show you our little demonstration here. Oops. All right. This is a very, very simple Google Docs spreadsheet. I hope you can see it okay. Up here we have the dates. We schedule social media messages out for usually 1 week at a time. Green means that this message has been posted. Here we have the editorial calendar, includes when we're going to post blog posts. I think our next one is coming up on, here we go, on the 21st. I'm going to have to do a webinar recap blog post. Then I can build social media messages around that blog post. So here's what I already posted this week. There are character limits when it comes to posting messages on Twitter. I included a little formula here, which tells me exactly how many characters I'm using up. By the way, if you do this method, it's 115 characters before the link, and we shorten basically every link through Hootsuite. LinkedIn status updates, they recently changed to 600 characters. Alright, so I just want to show you very, very, very simple. It's not rocket science. You can do this. You can build this in, an hour or less. Alright, so let me show you how we actually would do this, Beth and I. And by the way, if you're a competitor, I definitely recommend use a customer-facing spreadsheet standalone, and then an internal spreadsheet where you create the content. So I created 2 tabs here for this exercise. So these are messages that I'm now going to, let's say, hey Beth, can you draft me a couple of messages for tomorrow? Alright, so Beth drafts those messages. She tells me, Chris, they're ready. I'm going to post them over to your spreadsheet. So bang, check this out. Here we go. Now I have the messages. I highlight that they're highlighted in blue, which tells me they're ready for my review. I'm like, okay, this looks good. I'm going to highlight it green. This message looks great as well. Well, I'm going to grab it. I'm going to come over here to Hootsuite. I'm going to wake Hootsuite up. If you're not familiar with Hootsuite, I would get on it right away. It's going to make your life so much easier. I'm going to put the message in here. I'm going to grab the link. I'm going to shorten the link. Alright, that's the short link. Now I'm going to select my Twitter networks, and I want to push this message out, right? My personal and my company. I'm going to click on schedule. I'm going to schedule it tomorrow at about 9:20 a.m. Scheduled. Bang. There we go. Just to show you, I schedule everything out probably like a week in advance. So these are all the messages that I already have pre-scheduled for the rest of the week. You're done. You can move on to something else. All right. Just a quick exercise. I hope you learned something from this. Let me go back to the slides here. All right. Load this up again. So how are you going to measure? Let's talk about how you're going to measure your success of your efforts. I'm going to quick check the time here. We're doing okay. Again, with many of our clients, we just use simple Google Docs spreadsheets where we plug in the numbers. Okay. Actually, with this client, they don't do anything paid. They want to grow their followers organically. They don't do any paid ads. So we help them grow their LinkedIn followers just through a well-developed and defined content marketing strategy from 500 to 700, and it's tremendously successful for them. As you can tell here, back in January, February, this is where LinkedIn took away their questions and answer section, but they still get pretty good referral traffic from LinkedIn through our social media marketing. So this is a very, very easy way to report your success to your higher-ups. Then an easy way to measure success is to, and I'm going to show this to you directly, go into the social networks to check the analytics. So basically this is LinkedIn. You're on my LinkedIn company page. You go to edit, you click on page, view page insights. There we go. You get all the data. The same thing applies to Facebook. This is my Facebook company page. Here are the insights. You get a ton of information, which will be very useful for you to know. You know, what do people like? Are they, how many people do you reach? How many visits do you get? You know, what posts get the most engagement, etc., etc. If you haven't already checked out those insights, I definitely get on it and get familiar with it to use this data. And I bet many of you don't know that Twitter actually does have a analytics dashboard. All you have to do is add ads before, so it's basically ads.twitter.com. You got to be logged into your Twitter account and hover over analytics and click on tweet activity. This actually launches, or should launch, there we go, the data you're looking for. You can download everything. It makes it really easy for you to find out, what's working. They're telling you, hey, show me my best tweets. Right here I can see how many favorites I got, how many retweets, etc., etc. So definitely check it out. Then also Hootsuite has a pretty awesome analytics section, and you can build customized reports. Let's see, for the profile overview, just click on, for which profile that is linked to Hootsuite's great report. There we go.
And Chris, my understanding is that you've got to pay for some of these reports unless you have the highest membership. Like I have the pro version, and I can only get some basic reports. So just
okay, yeah, keep that in mind. I mean, you pay to play,
yeah,
right?
You pay for analytics.
Exactly, yeah. So these are easy ways to get more, to actually find out what's working and why. All right, let's go on full screen here again. All right. By the way, you get the slides, and I did a little bit of research here. There's so many tools out there, so feel free to check out these links and see what kind of tool you're working with. All right, case studies and success. And these are actually real customer case studies that Beth and I are working together on. For this client, as you can see here, it's actually a screenshot from Google Analytics. This is referral traffic from social media networks. We just started to implement a social media strategy, and we increased referral traffic, but from basically 0 to 121 visits in February. We have done this by drafting a bi-weekly blog post. It doesn't take a lot. We do one personal LinkedIn status update for the CEO. We do one LinkedIn and one Google Plus company page status update per day, 2 tweets per day, 2 LinkedIn group postings per day. Great way to get started. This is actually a very nice success story here. Again, Beth and I have worked with this client for over a year now. As you can see here, this is year-over-year data. We help them increase their referral traffic from LinkedIn, we more than doubled it. Facebook went up 153%, and Twitter nearly 600%. We do bi-monthly webinars or web panels. We do weekly blog posts. And again, what I mentioned before, LinkedIn status updates, company page updates, group postings, etc., etc. So this could be a good strategy for you. And also for these guys, as I mentioned, in addition to social media marketing, we do webinars and web panels. And it's tremendously successful. So what I recommend, and I hosted a webinar on this before, if you do campaign-based content marketing, SEO, and social media, the payoff is simply tremendous. You're going to get so many leads out of this. You're going to increase sales. And actually, I may be doing another webinar on this topic in the very near future. All right. And here's a personal success story for myself. I used to help a company organize a conference. I sent a tweet out, and actually Twitter picked it up, the company Twitter, and they contacted me. And they said, hey, this conference looks awesome. Could we present? I'm like, heck yeah. You know, I got them on the agenda. The conference sold out in 2 weeks. So this was a tremendous success just by, you know, sending out a tweet, by the right person seeing this tweet.
Using the right hashtags, perhaps.
Exactly, yes. It's, you can achieve great results. All right, that said, we are actually hosting 2 full-day workshops coming up, one in Boulder, one in Denver, April 8th and 29th. Beth's going to present a session there, and you learn a lot more. It's basically very in-depth. You learn about SEO, social media, content marketing, and Boulder is very close to selling out. I think we have about 4 seats left. I invite you to use code LIMC50 for $50 off the registration fee. Simply go to boulderseomarketing.com/training, and you'll see the full agenda, or you can call or email me for additional questions. All right, that's it. Let's see what time. We have about 7 minutes for questions, and I already see we do have questions here. Why don't we start? Let's see. What are some common social media marketing mistakes businesses make? Beth, I'm going to let you start.
Sure. Well, I would say, of course, the topic of this webinar is to have a strategy. So a common mistake would be to try to be everywhere at once with inconsistency of frequency of posting and no strategy. Secondly, I think some people do a little bit too much self-promotion. There's an amazing book, and one of our audience members has mentioned it here in the Q&A. It's by Gary Vaynerchuk, and it's called Jab, 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 Right Hook. What he uses that boxing metaphor for is to recommend that our job is to jab, 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 and by his definition of jab is send them valuable content so that you're likable, shareable, and then when the time is right, you give them the right hook, and the right hook is the pitch for the sale. So that would be my top.
Okay, great. We're getting a ton of questions, and I apologize. We're probably not going to get to all of them. Devin, with target audience, is it important to have the person doing the marcom be of the same or similar demographic? All right, that's an awesome question. Yes, so we actually go out and we find industry experts who can write intelligently about what our client needs to be written about. And yes, those are people that we're actually targeting the writing for. So yeah, I recommend you find somebody who really knows the content, who's in their shoes. So in short, yes. Beth, is that your experience too?
I'd say that if you're good at channeling and really up for a lot of research, I think my experience with one of my clients is that because I've been around the block in the business world, I can channel the business voice. Maybe younger folks is going to be a little more hard, but I think it's possible to channel another type of voice, but I think expertise is going to help for sure.
Great. Okay. Monica, when you manage other businesses' social media accounts, do you use your one Hootsuite account or that business Hootsuite account? Great question. Personally, I prefer to use their Hootsuite accounts. I have Hootsuite accounts for each and every client. That's just my personal preference. If something happens, they're good to go. Beth, is that your preference as well?
I would love to have everything on my own dashboard, but if you, for example, Chris demonstrated the Google Calendar that we use, the editorial calendar. If your client is approving content, they can do that in their own Hootsuite account versus having to do both steps.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to cut out one step, using your client's account is going to allow them to see your posts. If you do it in your own dashboard, you can't invite your client in to look at the posts. Unfortunately, that's a drawback of Hootsuite at the moment.
Yeah. Right. And do you need to use keywords in social media marketing? All right, I'm the SEO guy. Yes. I've seen tremendous results. I mean, you don't have to. If you do, it has to be natural. I mean, first and foremost, write content for humans, not for machines. That's it. If you can do it naturally, yes, please go ahead and do it. You'll get so much more organic search traffic out of it. But it has to be natural. Beth?
Thanks. I agree with Chris, and I would just add that because you're going to be curating other people's content, maybe 80% of the time, I wouldn't worry about keywords in that content. You want to entertain, you want to be likable, you want to develop personality for your content. So for the 20%, I would try to use keywords and hashtags that are relevant to your industry.
Absolutely. All right, Kim, how do you translate analytics with success? More than referrals? Question mark. I guess the question is, how do you define success? With social media, oh my God, I wish, I have to do more research, but basically it comes down to sitting down with your client and define, hey, how are we going to define success? Increase in your network, referral traffic. Luckily now in Google, you can actually set goals. So Google, and Kim, I would look into Google Analytics, assigning goals. You can actually now do it for referral traffic from the social networks. So that may be a great way. Beth, how do you define success?
So it's really not easy for any company, I don't think, to correlate social media directly with revenue generation unless you have, an exact a campaign that drives people to a buy page. But I think back to the question or the situation of lead gen versus sales, it's just really important to have a good customer journey on your website so that the buying journey is made easy for the buyer. So just work closely with your sales department, but I think the referral traffic to the site is going to be a top indicator. You just want to get people to the website.
Yeah, and then of course you can build landing pages specific to your social media messaging, so that's a way to measure it as well. Let's see, Jennifer, what type of LinkedIn status update do you do? Jennifer, if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, there you go. There's your answer. I do a lot. I live on LinkedIn. I try to share as much useful information as possible. But yeah, I'm also going to let people know about, hey, we got a new blog post. Hey, I'm doing another webinar. So I would say, see what other people post on their LinkedIn, and if it speaks to you, maybe that's a good way to start. And let me see, how do you determine which social media outlets to use? It really depends on your target audience. That's it. Go back to the source. Take a look at who is your target audience. Are they hanging out mostly on Pinterest, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever? I guess that's my short answer.
Yeah.
Then let me see. We're nearly out of time. Let's take a few more questions here. We are brand new to social media marketing. What social networks should we start with, and how often should we post? We answered which networks. How often should you post? Don't overwhelm yourselves. If you have a limited amount of time per day, maybe start with one post, for LinkedIn status updates, a group post, company status update, 1 or 2 tweets, a Facebook post. Get started with that. Get a feel for it and see how it works, and then just ramp it up, and don't overdo it. Just find the right balance. All right, next question here, Jim. Is it better to outsource social media marketing or take care of it in-house? And if I outsource my social media marketing efforts, what do I need to look for? Beth, you're the social media guru. Why should somebody work with you?
All right, so it's all going to depend on your staffing levels and what your priorities are. I think it's just up to you to determine, do you have the personality to do this type of work? It's in a lot of companies, it's a full-time job. In the larger companies, they have entire teams who work all day on just the right graphic and the right video. What you would need to look for would be somebody who can really understand your voice, who can understand your personality, and who can write as if they were you. So it's ghostwriting, essentially. It's another term for it, but it's done all the time, and it's, I think, someone who just understands and can deliver.
Yeah. It's basically budget, time, resource, right? If you have the time, if you think you can do it, do it. If not, contract with somebody like Beth, who can really help you. Yeah. Then, apologies, we're already a little bit over time. We're going to take one more question, and then hopefully you'll join us for our next webinar. Let me see. Anne, does number of friends and connections affect the power of natural search in social media marketing? That's a great question. Okay, here's what I think. I'm the SEO guy. Yes. But they have to be acquired naturally. I heavily advise against buying likes or followers. Google will catch up. They will always catch up. So that's why maybe you remember when I said at the beginning, just do it the right way. Stay away from buying anything in terms of social media marketing. Do it the organic way. You can use Facebook ads, etc. But yes, in my personal opinion, it actually does affect your ratings. So,
if I could add one thing to that, I totally agree with what Chris says. What you want to do is go into your Twitter account, for example, and your LinkedIn account, and figure out which of these people are influencers out there. Because the people that are influencers in your industry, and even outside your industry, are going to share your content with their networks. And so that natural or organic search is going to come from you posting entertaining, interesting stuff that these influencers are going to share, and then they're going to bring their entire networks back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard one example yesterday actually about a local Boulder company that uses Instagram. It's a retail outlet of clothing. They decided to take pictures of women trying on clothes, and they tagged those Instagram photos to the women trying them on their networks. Then they shared with their friends, and then they got this huge organic traffic back to this store's website. Oh, there's my friend. Oh, share with my network. It's all about getting your followers to share with their followers.
Yeah. All right. Great point, Beth. We're over time. I greatly appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us today. We'll send you the link to the recording in the slides, and I hope you'll be able to join us next time again. Hey, Beth, that was fun. I enjoyed that.
Thank you, everybody.
I'll talk to you next time. All right. Bye, everybody. Thanks a lot.